I'm pretty sure you know what some of those pictures are about. You're a very intelligent person. And I don't want you to discredit yourself by saying you don't know about all the pictures that are on your phone. I want to let you know you're not free to leave. You're being detained, okay? Do you want to know what you're being detained for? Capital sexual battery and possession of child pornography.
Defendant Stephan Sterns is in the spotlight this morning after he made a rare court appearance where he testified. This is in an effort to have some key evidence against him suppressed from his upcoming sex abuse trial. So Sterns is accused of abusing and killing 13-year-old Madeline Soto. She was the daughter of his girlfriend, Jennifer Soto. They were all living together. An investigator zeroed in on Sterns after allegedly finding pornographic material on his cell phone, reportedly including Madeline. But his lawyers argue the deputies unlawfully took his phone from him, violating his rights against unreasonable searches and seizures. Here's what Sterns said in court, and we want to give you a warning. The audio quality, unfortunately, isn't the best.
And Mr. Sterns, did you come into contact with law enforcement in January of 2024?
I did.
During your contact with law enforcement, did they seize or take an item from you?
Yes, they did.
What item was that?
That would be my cell phone.
Do you know what type of cell phone it was?
It was a Samsung Galaxy, I believe it was a 24.
And what was your understanding, if any, as to what they were going to do with it?
They were just going to check my Google Maps and check to see if I was logged into Google, and that was it. That was all I agreed to.
Were you shown, or did they have a warrant?
They did not.
The judge said he would make a ruling on this at a later date. So let's talk about how they got the phone in the first place, the story here at play, and then also what legal decision the court should make. It will have big implications on the upcoming trial, no doubt about it. Let's bring in Court TV digital content producer Lauren Silver and criminal defense attorney Michael J. Brown. Let's start with the story. Lauren, I want to start with you, please. So would you kind of back us up way back to how investigators looked at the phone in the first place and saw the alleged pornographic material?
Right. So after Madeline was reported missing, she hasn't been found yet. We just know that she has disappeared, and his story was that he had dropped her off at school, and that was the last time he saw her. He gave police a lot of information about where he'd driven that day, so they wanted to look at his phone to see if his maps matched up with that. So they asked him if they could look at his phone, and they were standing next to him while they did that, and they looked through the maps, and they could see that the maps did not, like his phone data didn't match with what he had been saying. So they then went to go check surveillance cameras, get some more information, and as they were standing next to him, they said, can we look through your phone? Can we look at your history? They weren't specific about what history they were looking at. And they did wind up determining that, one, there were pornographic images on the phone, and two, that he had performed a factory reset on the phone.
Ruh-roh. Okay, so he tells them that they can look, and then they see some very, very bad things. At that point, Lauren, I want to be very clear. At that point, they still did not go and get a warrant, did they?
Correct. They told him, we want to keep your phone. They said, we're going to keep this. He said, well, I'm going to need to call my dad. They said, well, you can use Jennifer's phone for that, but we're going to keep this and make a copy overnight. And either you can consent to giving it to us, or we can get a search warrant. And he was like, okay, well, then take it. So they never got a search warrant. He did consent to them taking it, and they did wind up keeping it overnight, but they never received a search warrant for this phone at any point.
Lauren, thank you for that. Boy, this is like a law school problem. Michael J. Brown, what do you say here? Legally, are they good to introduce this evidence, or is there a problem? Should they have gotten a warrant at the point in time that they saw the first pornographic images involving children?
Julie, they're good. When you have consent, they have an absolute right that law authorities do in order to go through that phone. So if the defendant consents and says, you can get into my phone, you can look at it, that gives them carte blanche basically to look at the phone. Obviously, if it's conditioned on what they can look at, which doesn't seem to be the case here, then they're limited. But having said that, a lot of police departments and district attorney's offices, you know, even though they get the consent and they start looking and seeing things, they still may get a judicial warrant because then they cover their bases. And then this whole issue kind of gets put to rest because they also have a warrant. But in terms of the legality, once you consent, they absolutely have the right to search that phone. Game over.
Right. Michael J. Brown, thank you for that. You took the words right out of my mouth about how it's even better if you get a warrant too, right? Like you've been a DA, you know how it is when police may call you and say, what should we do? We're at this juncture. You advise them, cover all your bases. But as you said, this seems like this was a valid consent and Sterns doesn't have a viable argument. Matter of fact, we have the moment where police ask him for his permission to look through the phone. Let's play that clip. Here we go.
From what I understand, that you gave the deputies consent to look through your phone. You did? Okay. And you voluntarily gave it to them so they could bring it here to do the extraction and stuff like that. Okay.
Oh, okay. So clarifying, it wasn't the first moment, but the second moment where they're going back to the first moment in time. Lauren, when you see his disposition there, and you've been watching him throughout these court hearings, you've been writing great articles for us on courttv.com. Was there a difference when you see Sterns in that room a moment ago versus what you saw yesterday in the courtroom?
Not really. I mean, his appearance has certainly changed. The beard is not quite as full. His hair is much shorter. His stature looks a little different. But he has a very nonchalant demeanor. He was described that way by police at the scene. Also, when they were interviewing him and taking his phone, he seemed very calm. He noted that he had taken a Ativan, which is a relaxant the night before, but he has never seemed too uppity. The volume was overmodulated and it was difficult to understand him, but he was calm, he was articulate, he answered the questions appropriately. He's not too chatty, but always calm, even demeanor.
Consistent. Lauren, thank you for that. Michael J. Brown, do you find it at all weird that the Florida prosecutors are going for the sex abuse case first, and second, they're going to try the capital case for Madeline's murder?
No, I don't. I think that they have the strong case here. They have it on his phone, Julie. They have the evidence on the phone. I think it's a very strong case. And then they can move forward from there. And the conviction actually may be used against them during the next trial. So I think it's a good move.
Oh, that's interesting. Do you think that could be the strategy there, Michael, to get that conviction to introduce?
I would hope they have something behind their thought process.
Yeah,
Yes.
something. No, I know. Great analysis from you both, as always. Lauren Silver, I know we've got to let you go. Thank you for everything for coming on this morning. We'll see you very soon.